I just had to see the monster who did this to them. It's insane. They didn't have to hurt my baby.
A man is accused of killing his girlfriend and their 2-day-old daughter. He now has a trial date set. Now, this morning, a Shelby County judge set the trial date for Brandon Isabelle for September 23rd next year.
On a cold February night in Memphis, Tennessee, the quiet streets were rocked by a crime so harrowing it left the community in disbelief. Danielle Hoy, a young mother of 2, was found lifeless near her abandoned car. Her newborn daughter, Kennedy, was missing, prompting a frantic search across the city. The tragedy deepened when the prime suspect turned out to be someone Danielle once trusted, her ex-boyfriend and Kennedy's father, Brandon Isabelle. How could a man harm the very people he was meant to protect? What led to such a devastating series of events? As we look into this heartbreaking story, we go deeper into the lives of those affected and the graphic details of that fateful night. Danielle Hoy was a 27-year-old woman full of love, strength, and kindness. She was born on April 16, 1994, in Memphis, Tennessee, and grew up in a caring and supportive family. Danielle was known for her warm heart and her ability to make others feel special. Friends and family often said she had the purest soul and brought joy wherever she went. Danielle was the proud mother of a 10-year-old daughter, Jeria. Their relationship was not just that of a mother and daughter, they were best friends. Danielle loved spending time with Jeria, whether it was helping her with homework or just laughing together at home. She worked as a material handler at FedEx to provide a good life for her daughter, and despite the challenges of being a single mom, she never let anything stop her from giving her child all the love and care she deserved. In January 2022, Danielle's life changed when she welcomed her second child, Kennedy. Kennedy was born on January 31st, and Danielle was excited to grow her family. She had big dreams for her 2 daughters and worked hard every day to make a bright future for them. Her family remembers how happy she was to become a mother again, even as she balanced work and motherhood. Danielle met Brandon Isabelle, Kennedy's father, while working at FedEx. At first, their relationship seemed fine, but it didn't last long. As Danielle's pregnancy progressed, she decided to break up with Brandon. She said they had too many differences and felt it was better to move on. This decision upset Brandon, especially when Danielle began seeing someone else. Danielle's family believed Brandon's jealousy and anger started to grow after the breakup. Despite the challenges in her personal life, Danielle stayed strong. She focused on her children and her work, determined to give her family the best life she could. She surrounded herself with love and positivity, always looking forward to the future. The fateful date of February 1st, 2022, began as a normal day for Danielle Hoy. She was busy, like any mother would be, caring for her newborn daughter, Kennedy. Earlier that day, Danielle had taken Kennedy to the hospital for follow-up testing, as Kennedy was only 2 days old. She kept in touch with her family throughout the day, sending updates and chatting with her mother, April Campbell. There was no sign that this day would end in tragedy. As the evening rolled around, Danielle's family grew concerned. Normally, Danielle was quick to respond to messages, but by nightfall, her phone had gone silent. Her last text mentioned being at the hospital and trying to get Kennedy out of the car. After that, there was nothing. Around 11:15 p.m., a Memphis police officer patrolling Sedgwick Drive made a chilling discovery. He noticed a tan-colored Chevy Cruze with a shattered driver's side window. Upon closer inspection, he found Danielle's lifeless body near the car. She had been shot in the head, and it was clear she had died instantly. The officer quickly ran the car's license plate and contacted Danielle's family. But as devastating as this discovery was, it was only the beginning. Kennedy, the 2-day-old baby, was missing. She wasn't in the car, and there was no sign of her nearby.
That's my grandbaby. I only had my baby 10 minutes, and I haven't seen her since. Why would somebody want to hurt a baby? She precious. She didn't do anything to you.
With no explanation for her disappearance, an Amber Alert was issued almost immediately. The alert described Kennedy as a tiny newborn, just 17 inches long and weighing 6 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black and white polka dot onesie with pink pants. The urgency of finding her could not have been greater. Back at the scene, investigators began piecing together what had happened. It was clear Danielle had been ambushed. The broken window suggested a violent struggle, and her car had been abandoned in a quiet, dark area. The discovery of Danielle's body sent shockwaves through her family. April Campbell, her mother, described the moment she found out. "You can cry so much that tears don't even come down your eyes anymore," she said. "I haven't slept. I haven't eaten. All I want is my babies back." As word of the crime spread, the Memphis community joined in the search for Kennedy. Volunteers, police officers, and even strangers combed the area near Mud Island, hoping to find any trace of the baby. Boats searched the Mississippi River for hours, but no evidence was found. The longer Kennedy was missing, the more desperate the search became. Danielle's murder left everyone with questions. Why would anyone harm such a kind and loving mother? And where was Kennedy? As investigators worked tirelessly to find answers, the heartbreaking reality began to set in. Someone had not only taken Danielle's life, but also robbed Kennedy of the chance to grow up. The events of that night were only the beginning of a case that would grip the city of Memphis and leave a lasting impact on everyone who heard the story.
Was missing, prompting an Amber Alert. But within 24 hours, the baby's father, Brandon Isabelle, was taken into custody. Investigators say Isabelle told them that he threw the little girl, 2-day-old Kennedy Hoyle, into the Mississippi River. The child's grandmother was at today's court appearance.
I just had to see the monster who did this to them. It's saying they didn't have to hurt my baby. He didn't have to hurt them.
He got to hold her and everything. How could you kill something that's part of you?
The search for answers began almost immediately after Danielle's body was discovered. Memphis police worked around the clock, determined to find Kennedy and bring justice for Danielle. Evidence at the scene pointed to a premeditated attack. Investigators quickly developed a suspect: Brandon Isabelle, Danielle's ex-boyfriend and Kennedy's father. A look into his Facebook account shows a man that is connected to violence in any way, which makes it all the more disturbing what drove him to such extents.
Brandon Isabelle, the man arrested for murdering Danielle Hoyle and Kennedy Hoyle. He is the father of 2-day-old Kennedy Hoyle. Brandon's Facebook has since been deleted, but here are some of the posts.
Brandon was detained on the same day Danielle's body was found. During questioning, he confessed to a series of chilling crimes. According to police reports, Brandon admitted to luring Danielle to Sedgwick Drive. He tricked her into meeting him, using her trust as a weapon. Once she arrived, Brandon shot Danielle in the head, leaving her to die near her car. What came next was even more heartbreaking. Brandon revealed that after killing Danielle, he took Kennedy from her car seat. He then drove to the northern part of Mud Island, where he threw the 2-day-old baby into the Mississippi River. Brandon also confessed to discarding the gun he used to kill Danielle into the same river, making it even harder for investigators to recover evidence. Despite his confession, Kennedy's body has never been found. Police and volunteers searched the river for days, but the cold February waters and strong currents made the task nearly impossible. For Danielle's family, the lack of closure added to their grief. April Campbell, Danielle's mother, expressed her pain, saying, "I need to see Kennedy. I need to know for sure she's gone."
They didn't have to hurt my baby. He didn't have to hurt them. He got to hold her and everything. How could you kill something that's part of you? I mean, seriously. If you didn't want her, you should have just stayed gone. Why are you staring at me? Why are you not telling me what my babies are? Why are you not telling me I'm sorry? I mean, something, something. You can't be that cold-blooded.
Brandon was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. Despite his admission, he entered a plea of not guilty, and his defense team immediately began challenging the validity of his confession. Brandon's attorney argued that the police may have used coercive tactics to obtain the confession.
Isabelle is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, murder in the perpetuation of aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. The body of the newborn baby, by the way, has not yet been found.
The legal battle has been long and exhausting. Brandon's trial was set to begin in September 2024, more than 2 years after the crime. Delays and procedural issues have frustrated the family and the community, who are desperate for justice. After entering a not guilty plea, Brandon Isabelle hasn't been sentenced yet, as of date. The case has left many wondering how someone could commit such horrific acts, especially against their own child. Danielle's eldest daughter, Juria, was perhaps the most affected. At just 10 years old, she lost her mother and baby sister in one night. Family members said Juria cried often, asking, "Why did this happen to my mama? Where is Kennedy?" Her heartbreak served as a painful reminder of the innocent lives torn apart by the tragedy. The funeral for Danielle and Kennedy was held on February 19, 2022 at Forest Hill Cemetery. It was a somber event, attended by family, friends, and members of the community who came to pay their respects. Though Kennedy's body was never found, a symbolic ceremony was held to honor her short but meaningful life. Even as they mourned, Danielle's family remained determined to find Kennedy. Search efforts continued along the Mississippi River, with volunteers combing the banks for any sign of the baby.